Hi, welcome back to the League-Kempner House in Galveston. I'm Janie. I'm the president of the nonprofit set up to restore and preserve this incredible house. And when we left you in our last video, the plumber had just started work on getting our bathrooms functional down in the basement or the ground floor. And we are under the gun. Our steampunk event is 8 days away. And nothing is working yet, and we still have one bathroom that doesn't even have walls up, so it is crunch time. I'm not going to show you a lot of the plumbing work because this is tight quarters down here, and they need to be in and out of this bathroom area, bringing in pipe and looking for fittings and getting their work done. So the best thing I can do to be helpful is just stay out of their way and let them do their job. I'll be hanging around in case they have some questions. As usual, we are still working through some of the issues with working in an old house and not having the flexibility to do things exactly the way you might choose if you had new construction. But for the most part, we have everything lined out and decisions made, and these guys can just get going. So when I pulled the permit for roughing in all the plumbing on the ground floor.
Correct.
And roughing in all the electrical down here. And building my partition walls and the concrete floor, I think. I think that's everything that would have to be inspected before we could start closing up the walls. Okay, say that again for the camera. If we get rid of the porta potty for the steampunk, what is it?
Is that really a Victorian experience?
But they did have flushing toilets in this house.
At the very least, you should get some Sears and Roebuck catalogs.
We should.
And have them use that for the toilet paper.
Okay.
I'm showing
I just want, my sister's just concerned, are we going to have the walls in? And I said, well, we'll have something.
Hey, we put cardboard up on the outside of bathroom walls in our shopping.
Oh, you know what? That's, I'm willing to do it. Well, my brain is going 100 miles an hour. That's the problem with the timing of this. I was just saying, so where you run water lines and where they drill holes and put electrical lines, I have to put a steel plate over that before I can put the wall up. So even if I could do one side of the wall so the inspector can inspect from the other side, I still need to know where all those penetrations are to get my plates on there. So I'm going to try to get the electrician to come draw dots and I can drill. And then if you can figure out the water supply lines.
We'll probably just go ahead and drill them and run the pipe.
Okay. Then I could actually, clad some of these walls where I know I'm not going to need it open for the inspector to look at. It's been incredibly busy. We're having a work day, and I forgot to video. But look what Joe did.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
More like doing. Not did yet.
Doing. She's still busy. But it's a great day. It's cool and nice. Overcast, no sun.
I need eye protection if I'm going to do the bamboo.
Yes, you do. I am working on getting the concrete border removed where we lost sidewalk and just raking it and trying to get a gentle slope. It'll be a while before we can get a new sidewalk, and spring is coming, grass will grow in here, so we need to contour this. And that's our new volunteer Jean, who has been very busy cleaning up our front flower bed because spring is here. Our vinca wintered over through the freeze and has put out lots of little seedlings. So in another 2 or 3 weeks, this will look fabulous. And then I can't show you Diane. She doesn't like to be on camera, but she is out cleaning our beds in the corner. She's been here since early this morning. Say hi, Sherry. Sherry's back.
Happy spring.
And we have made a discovery. It's an undercover little pathway going into the bamboo. So something else to dig up.
Well, I want to know where it went.
Just follow it. On there. Score! Look what we found buried in the ground, the secret pathway. These are original pavers from pre-1900. All right, we are in the underbelly of the porte-cochere with Philip. He's the president of the Shriners Clowns, which do all kinds of fun charitable things supporting the Shriner Burn Center.
And Orthopedic Hospital.
And so he reached out, and he and his wife Karen are volunteering. Karen volunteered yesterday, but today Philip is tackling a mess. This is just where junk went from different leveling projects in the house, so we need to clear a lot of this out, figure out what we're going to save. And these are all shutters from the house that have come down for various reasons, and eventually we'll take them to New Orleans and get them stripped. But Philip is the muscle today, so he's going to be moving all the shutters, moving the screens that came off of some of the windows, and trying to organize. One, we need it for long-term organization and storage, but two, this area is going to be our rainy day backup plan for our steampunk event. So he's an early riser. He was here way before Joe and I got here. Karen worked hard all day yesterday cleaning. So this is quite the chore he's undertaken. So big thanks to you, and thanks for all you do with the Shriners. It's such an incredible organization. The Shriners Burn Hospital is here in the Galveston Medical
They
Center.
merged with the Orthopedic Hospital from Houston.
So yes, so great work being done there. So he's supporting charities all over the place. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Flex all your muscles.
Woo!
We didn't need that second one, but.
Hi, welcome back to the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas. I'm Janie, and it is another great work day with Alfred, our volunteer, and Emilio. We are down in the basement. We're not wasting any time. We are working on framing in the half bath that will eventually be part of the gift shop. And we think we have all the kinks laid out, worked out on the design, but this is one of those things we kind of have to work at it as we go. So Emilio and I have been talking about where to start, how we're going to do the doors, how we need to do the drains, and we're just going to get going. And Heather and I had a great night. Last night we went to Art Walk, which is an activity in Galveston where every 6 to 8 weeks or so, depending on the time of the year, a lot of the shops and galleries stay open late at night. They serve wine. There's music on the street. There's street vendors. It's just a fun atmosphere. It was a very pleasant night. But last night there was a building open, the Thomas League Jefferson. No. The Thomas Jefferson League. I'll get it. I'm very tired, and I had a margarita last night. The Thomas Jefferson League building was open for tours on the third floor. It's under restoration right now. It was restored in the 70s or 80s by George Mitchell. Once it's being redeveloped again, and we actually tracked down the owner, and he was gracious enough to give us a full tour of the building and tell us about kind of his goal and what he's doing in Galveston. And I hope that video came out. I haven't looked at it yet, but if it did, I will tack it on the end of this video. But let me show you quick what's going on today. So the plumber was here, and we had a big disaster. this is the area that I needed to put some leveling on. And they decided since I was going to do that, they would chip out a little bit of the concrete to give them a bit extra clearance on slipping the collar on the standpipe. And when they did that chipping, they cracked the standpipe and broke it. So they had to actually dig through our brand new slab, go down about 1.5 feet so that they could get a coupling on, put a new standpipe on, and make it work. So now Alfred, fortunately, has a bag of Quikrete somewhere in his stash he's going to go get. I've added sand and tamped this back down. Now I have to pour some concrete, let the concrete cure for a few days, and then do my leveling. And the other thing I need to do is I'm going to wrap a bunch of cardboard around here so that the concrete doesn't get on that standpipe and leaves them an area to slip that toilet flange on. So that is an added project for today. It took a plumber a couple of days to do all this work, so we are slightly behind schedule, but I know those guys will catch up. They've already got all the vents in on the other side. I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm going to put the camera down and get busy and do some work to help these guys today. There's Heather. Say hi. It is so dark down here with all the windows boarded up. The first order of business was to move our work lights around and get some light in this area so that Emilio could see what he was doing. And I want to comment, I put a short up about this, and I got a kind of a rude comment. Somebody said we were doing shoddy work because we didn't use treated lumber, and that's not true. Anywhere in the basement that anything wood touches either the floor or one of the support columns or a brick wall, we are using treated lumber. It may not show up well on the video, but anything that comes in contact with something that could wick moisture gets treated lumber. With Emilio working away on the framing, Alfred left to go back to his house to pick up some lumber that he had no use for anymore. And it's great for us. He's donated this free of charge to the house, and it's treated 4x6s, and there are a lot of them, and you will see in later videos that we put these to really good use. But today they just went to pick them up and unload them and get them in the house. It's handy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay.
So we're going to stub out here or out across here?
Yeah, on this side.
This side.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
And I've got, how many inches? I've got a lot of small pieces over here. Here's some little.
Eight.
Are you going that way with it? Are you going that way with it? Or? Too short.
Almost. You want to use that
Oh,
one?
here. Use this one. This one may end up being over there. Let me do that. So a rough in, let's see, what did we say we were going to do? 32-inch door?
32 inch.
So a rough in opening would be
33 and
33 and a half.
Yeah.
That may work. We got lucky on this one stud. Emilio didn't have to drill in and anchor it to the support column because it terminated on the beam above, and he was able to just screw it in and hold it in place without bolting it to the wall. But then he started laying out the doorway, and of course we ran into another unanticipated problem. Okay, here's one of those problems we're resolving. So this is plumb up to the beam, which it needs to be. With our fancy Lasco laser level, when it carries over here, we are a good 2 inches off. So the question is, what do we do? Do we follow the beam, which would make the wall or the room out of square, but it would let us line the door up? I think we have to go with the beam and have the room be wonky inside, you think? Because it'll be easier to trim out and everything of the wall, you think?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem framing around the door. I think we have to do like that and catch the beam. And then this room will just be, it won't be a 90, but nobody will see it because the door will open.
Yeah.
And it's a bathroom, who cares? I'll just tell them you framed it bad.
Blame on me.
I think that works. I think that works.
Used to catching the blame.
I think that works. It's a bathroom. It's long and skinny. Nobody will ever see it.
The new guy did it.
The new guy did it. The free guy did it. We don't criticize free. And then that'll be easier to trim out the door to the beam.
You gotta plate this way, you know, because we don't got anchors, right? I can put it on this side. But then you're gonna be far this way.
I wouldn't worry about it. I think
Just
it's
follow
good.
the beam.
Yeah, I just follow the beam. If it were like something important that showed, but
Yeah.
nobody, they won't see it here
Yeah.
because it's following the beam
And
and
small room
small
here.
space.
Yeah, small space.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, we have a plan. We're following the beam, even though it's twisted and not straight. Now, wait a minute. If you're following the beam, you got to be.
Yeah, I wanna just bring this and then go with that.
No, but you're inside the beam. This one's inside the beam.
That's just gonna mark my line.
You're using
Yeah,
that as your
yeah.
level to mark from
Yeah.
the top of the beam down. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad. So he's using it as a straight edge.
Go. On my plate.
Emilio has a new favorite tool. He covets my tiny blower that I coveted from Ricardo, and my husband gave me as a Christmas present. So everybody that uses it wants one. Rigid, you should sponsor us and give us something. Everybody loves it. So we're having a confab about the stud placement because this wall drives everything from the electrical code to where the electrical panels can be. We've got to be 12 inches away from this wall, which marks our first stud here, then 16-inch centers going left or right to left from where I am, so that we have two boxes sitting side by side. And then the rest of it will be whatever it will be. But lunch is here. Whataburger, baby. Peppy. Peppy, want meat? Want meat? Yeah, yum, 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 yum. That's good. That's good. Necessity is the mother of invention. We don't have a half-inch drill to sink the anchor, so he's going to try to hand router a little recess.
Anchors are over there.
Every day of my life, I find a penny.
Oh, yeah.
See, and that's
That's
me.
probably
I find
because I'm looking at my feet to make sure I don't fall down. All right, that was our lucky day. Heather and I are going to Art Walk, and she just parked, and look, I found a whole cache of coins. It's my really lucky day. Okay. Heather and I are at Art Walk. We've had a margarita. I can't talk. Heather and I are at Art Walk, and we are in the Thomas Jefferson League building, which is now a venue space, and they are open. Look how pretty. Look at all those windows. Oh my gosh. The windows are fabulous. It's right on the Strand.
It's right across from the Sangerfest Park.
It's right across.
And Stuttgarten and the haunted house is over there.
Yeah, how cool is this? So we're gonna go explore. And for those of you that didn't catch it, Thomas Jefferson League is J.C. League's father, who started the land development business here in Texas. Here's an artist rendering of the building and an old pencil sketch of it. I don't know. Doorway, I'm guessing.
I bet it went longer like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
There's another arch over here, so it would have had a column.
Oh yeah.
It would have had a column in
Maybe
between.
it was 2 arches. Yeah.
Look at these. Those are steel columns.
Oh, they're
Iron columns.
cast iron.
Yeah.
Like in New York, how they have the cast iron buildings,
Yeah.
which we have here. We have some cast
Yeah.
iron facades. These are
So
cast
at
iron.
one time, this was the exterior of a building, and it got added onto.
I'm guessing. That's what I would
Let's
guess.
look down there. Oh, look down. I want to go down there.
That's where we came in, isn't it? Isn't that the entrance or no?
No.
Oh, we do need to go.
How do we go down there? Look at the light fixture in the wall. Look at that. Look at that. Let's go chat up
Okay,
that guy.
but also see the things that are in the wall.
Those
You know,
are plates. Those are tie rods
They
that put
are.
tension on the
And they
building
have
to
them in
hold the walls.
Charleston.
Oh, and look,
Yeah.
look at the
Oh, it's got the
skylight.
Oh, fine.
Oh, see, there's the old
serious
column. So
damage.
this was open to
that's
the
what it
courtyard.
is.
Look at that floor.
That's what that was in there. Yeah,
Look
that
at the
floor's
floor.
gorgeous.
We gotta go check that
Okay,
guy out
let's
and
go.
see if we can get down there.
Let's go chat. No, let's go chat. That's what I want.
Opened a door and it opened, so we have snuck in.
Oh, look
We don't know if we're supposed to be here or not.
It's like an old hotel.
Oh my God! Look at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bar. It's a bar. Oh my God.
We have to get down there. Look at the doors. Looky. Look at the columns. Look at the top. Look at the door down there.
That's where we were. We were up here, and here's the skylight.
This is what happens when Heather and I have a margarita. We explored a little bit and then went downstairs and bumped into a lady who knew the owner and had his phone number, and she called him for us and asked if he would come over and give us a tour of the building, and he very graciously said yes.
My name is Victorian Caminos, and I'm the owner of the 1871 Thomas Jefferson League building, and we are here at the main lobby. This used to be the Winteltrap restaurant back in the late 70s, 80s, and 90s.
So the George Mitchell had this building at one time.
It's my understanding that this is the first building that George Mitchell actually renovated in his entire portfolio.
And for those that don't know, George Mitchell was an oil man down here in Texas, and he put so much love and heart into Galveston. He really did start the process and the saving of the old downtown of Galveston. So we owe him a lot.
Mitchell's a lot, that's for sure.
This is fabulous.
So you walked into the restaurant, and this was the bar area, and you could see the skylights. And let me see if I could find it. But
So that's not original to the building, the bar. Mitchell brought that in for the restaurant.
correct. It's my understanding that was.
It looks like an.
Do you know if the floor is original, or did he do that too?
It's unlikely that the floors are.
Oh, it doesn't look original because look at the grout line and the tile, but it's still a cool floor.
It's in the right period style.
Here's a
similar.
picture right here of Mr. Mitchell and Cynthia Mitchell sitting in that corner right there.
How cool is that?
There.
So style-wise, are you going to try to strip all this back to expose as much of the original building like y'all did upstairs? Your event center looks great up there.
We're trying to. We've had conversations with the Texas Historic Commission, and pursuant to what they notified us, is that there wouldn't have been much exposed brick. Can't expose any more additional brick.
Okay.
Only expose what's currently out, but we can't add any more, so we can't continue the brick wall.
Okay.
That's crazy. But you don't know what it would have been covered with, so
Exactly.
why do they care if you? Because look
It's-
at the beam.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
look at the joist. Oh my
Look
God!
at the wood structure, man. This is serious. So, what in the world possessed you to buy this beautiful old structure? Is your background restoration or what?
No. So originally I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay.
I was born there. My family migrated here in the early 80s. We lived in New Jersey for a year, and then my father migrated here to Galveston.
Okay.
So I actually grew up in Galveston.
Okay, so
I attended Alamo Elementary, Rosenberg, Austin.
so not
Central,
BOI, but you
Ojai.
got here as quick as you could.
in Winnie, so I'm
you?
familiar with
Okay,
Rosenberg.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Rosenberg, Ball High School. I even went to Galveston College, got an associate's degree from Galveston.
awesome.
Before I ended up going to the University of Houston, I ended up getting an accounting degree. Further, then went to law school, got a law degree.
When did you go to law school?
Actually, I went to law school in 2012.
2012. Okay, no. Well, I'm way older than you, but I just.
Okay. Well, I actually worked. I was when I got a job as an accountant
Okay.
after undergrad. I was a CPA. I actually worked for Enron Corporation.
Me too.
Bankruptcy. Did you?
Oh, did we leave the building on the same day?
Actually, I stayed like 5 years afterwards.
Oh no, I left.
I was on the 19th floor at the tax department.
Oh my God, I was on the 45th floor.
So
with
you were
Broadband
you were
Services.
wrapping up all the.
I was in broadband services.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was the account responsible for Enron Energy Services, a lot of the commodity companies. I actually handled some of the partnerships that we had. I was a young associate straight out of undergrad and kind of went through all that. And then I
Trial
worked
by
for-
fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
I was at Reliant Energy.
Okay. Well, right after that, I went to actually go work for Vincent and Elkins, and I'm currently work full time for formerly Fulbright and Jaworski, Norton Rose Fulbright in downtown Houston. So COVID hit, we started working remotely. I had 2 children, ended up moving back down to Galveston so my kids could be closer to my parents, and then that's how this whole journey started. I ended up buying just a couple of small buildings, and then a couple of other opportunities kind of presented themselves. And a little bit more background though. When I was going to the University of Houston, I was actually a waiter for Mr. Mitchell's Phoenix Bakery restaurant, which is directly across the street from the Washington building. So I actually used to wait on Mr. Mitchell every Sunday. He'd walk in, get a cup of black coffee, read the Galveston Daily News, park his Cadillac here in the alley, stay for an hour, and then going about his day. So actually once I came in here as a waiter to do an event back when I was 19 years old.
And who would have thought you would be the guy
one
that
day-
owned the building?
So I've spent a lot of time on the Strand working as a waiter. I worked at Van Heusen when it was retail. So I'm pretty familiar, and I never would have thought that things would have kind of ended or have gone in the path that they have. But the opportunity came up, and I actually bought the Hutchinson Sealy building across the street.
Beautiful building.
I bought
Life
that.
just kind of takes you where it wants you to go.
Exactly. And my father actually owns Riondo's. So
Love Riondo's. Fabulous.
So I bought that building, then this one, the opportunity arose, and I just
So you're the next George Mitchell.
I don't want to go that far.
Saving-
All I'm trying to do is just basically, just continue renovating the buildings and making sure that, during my custody of these buildings for the next, whether it's 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years, when I hand it off to somebody else, it kind of
That's
continues.
what people don't understand is just because you renovate it once, it's not a guarantee that it stays in good shape forever. The climate is bad, things are harsh, businesses change, you have to have income, you have to support the maintenance of the building and keeping it sound. It is a lot of work to care and love these old buildings.
People do not understand the complexities.
No.
You have a newer structure. It's a lot easier to maintain. You got more modern systems to,
Yes.
that you have to account for. But in these old historic buildings, you're kind of confined to certain methods of doing certain things. So it makes it a lot more challenging. And then obviously you have to, upkeep the maintenance constantly throughout these buildings. And one of the key things is that you have to make each of these buildings economically viable.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's a reality. So you have to come up with creative ways for the buildings to kind of sustain themselves economically, and that's really the only way going forward. Because without the underlying economics of the building could just sit here and just deteriorate.
We had a Facebook comment. It was a little bit snarky, and they said, "Oh, they're from Texas. It's the money. It's always about the money." And I'm like, yes, it is, because
just Texas.
the cost to maintain these things is huge, and unless you have the business plan for the income to cover it, it'll just cycle through disrepair again. So you have to know your revenue stream and your cost side and make it work, or this building will just
Well, this is what
rust.
happened to the
Like the
house
League house was about to sit itself on the ground. It hadn't been maintained,
since
and
the 70s.
So
So,
we're
sad.
going with this one and getting all new mechanical systems. It's getting a new roof, new skylights. We really are not changing the use of the building very much from when Mr. Mitchell first developed the building. The third floor is remaining an event venue. The top gala room, same name that they had used. So all we have done are made just repairs and a lot of cosmetic. We've added some additional rooms to make it more in line with today's demands on an event venue. The second floor was executive office suites. All we have done again is just
Does anybody occupy those currently?
we just finished redoing the floors. We've been doing it. Have you seen?
we opened the door and poked our head in and hollered to see if anybody was there, but we didn't want to
No.
we didn't want to be too nosy without permission. So
we've gone in and remodeled a bunch
that's
of the second floor.
that's this balcony
Correct,
area
yeah.
around with all these fabulous doors and everything. Facundo is my new hero. After visiting with him this evening, he is the perfect person to own these buildings and be their champion. He had me the moment that he talked about caring for them during his custody. He doesn't view it as ownership or a material possession. He sees himself as someone who can preserve history, take care of these buildings, make them financially secure so that they can be maintained properly, and then pass them on to a future generation to enjoy. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here at the League-Kempner House. So much of history has been lost, and there are so many buildings in need of repair, and it just really made me feel good to have this conversation with him and know that many of Galveston's gorgeous old buildings are in great hands. So with that, I'll leave you until next time. This is the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas. Thanks for watching and supporting us, and we will see you next week.